Hello everybody. Listen, I am your girl Lisa B, and as always I'm excited to be here with you guys for another edition of JumpStart Monday. Look, I know it's early. Shake yourself. Come on in this space, in this room, in this virtual space, and make sure you invite other people to come in. Listen, even if you're catching it on the replay, do the hashtag replay. If you get something out of these messages, out of these lessons, make sure you put it in the comments. And again, like I said, don't keep it to yourself. Don't let it be a best kept secret. Share the love with other people. Bring them into our space as well. We want them to learn. We want them to be inspired. We want them to be motivated. But most of all, you know I'm all about what? The transformation. Absolutely. So today I want to talk about this old saying that I heard from Mama and them, which means Mama and Grandmama. And they would tell me things like this: Lisa, eat the meat and spit out the bones. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, that's what you do. You know, when we're eating chicken, we eat the meat, we kind of put the bones to the side. But what they were making reference to is counsel or advice. That's what they were really making reference to. Eat the meat and spit out the bones. So that's what I want to talk about today. The main thing is this: I don't want you to eat everything that you've been offered. That's correct. Don't eat everything that you are being offered. You know, everyone has an opinion, right? You don't need to receive advice and counsel from everybody, and that goes for all of us. And so you say, well, Lisa, well, you know, they give some pretty good advice. Okay, cool. But I want you to understand, when it comes to certain things, there are people that you don't need to accept advice from. I'm going to tell you like this: if you've never been married, it's kind of hard for me to receive marriage advice from you saying, I know how to make it a long, loving relationship. Well, you don't have experience. So what are we talking about? You know, if you don't drive, don't try to tell me how to drive. I'm just saying, I don't want advice from people like that. So what I'm saying is that you need to understand that there are different sets of people that we receive advice from based on the circumstance or the situation. Then some people, you don't receive advice from them. Now, let me have a caveat with that. And so the caveat is this: we can learn something from everybody, and sometimes the lesson is this: don't do that. That's sometimes what the actual lesson is. So there's a lesson in it all. So the first thing that we want to do when we are looking at who we're going to take advice or counsel from is this: you ask yourself, does this advice align with my ethics and my morals? Now, you might not think that's important, but if you're going to run a business with integrity, if you're going to live a life with integrity, their advice needs to be advice that aligns with your ethics and your morals. That's number one. Number two, does the advice that this person is rendering align with my goals? Does it take me towards my goals, or does it put me in reverse? You got to think about those things when you're taking advice from people. Now, this is a very important one before you really get into the situation where you're receiving advice about really serious matters. Is the person that I'm receiving this advice from trustworthy? Do they have my best interest at heart? Can I take their advice and take it to the bank, so to speak? Are they trustworthy? That's important. Number three, does that person, no, I think this is number four. Number four, does that person take their own advice? Bald head man can't sell me no grease. One more time, okay? Be careful who you receive advice from. So, do they take their own advice? If they're talking to you about finances and telling you, hey, this is the way you need to save, this is the way you need to invest and or multiply your investments, what does their portfolio say? What receipts do they have? And so it's important to be looking at what's going on as to who you receive advice from. And then when I say eat the meat and spit out the bones, again, what that means is even when they give you advice, we have to still take counsel with ourselves. Again, thinking, does it align with my morals and my values? Does it take me to my next? Now, some of it might take you to the next, but the part that doesn't, that's the spit out the bones. Because again, we can pull some meat off the bones and it can be good, but then some of it can be a little bit red. Y'all ever had that to happen before? So you want to throw that away along with the bones. The meat part that is good, take that in, apply those things, and then that's the good advice that takes us to our next. But again, I'm going to say to you, don't eat everything that you have been offered. Come on, eat the meat and spit out the bones, because one thing that you know about bones, they are a choking hazard. When you have those things, that kind of advice that will choke you, it will choke your dreams out. That's what it will do. It will choke you in your health, because then you're all off track. And then the next thing we know, we have challenges that go along with that. You know, all the medical challenges that go along with that. So I don't want you to choke on somebody else's bone that they fed you in their advice. So recognize those bones and spit them out. I know, it's old school, right? But it's good advice that Mama and them gave me, and I wanted to share it with you. Listen, this is your girl, Lisa B. I am the life changer. And again, you know this is Jumpstart Monday.